On a recent visit to Hay, I picked up a copy of this book in one of the bookshops there. It's the work of William Paley, bishop in the 18th and early 19th centuries, and his most famous work was on natural theology, the evidence for God, and it's the argument from design. Now, Paley wasn't the originator of this argument. It goes back as far as Plato and Aristotle, considering a sundial and its regular movements governed by the regular movements of the sun. But Paley was the first to articulate it in more modern times. It goes something like this. Suppose I was walking along a heath and I happened upon a rock on the ground, and I was asked, how did this rock get here? I might well say, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's been here forever, and it's the end of the question. But suppose I happened upon a watch on the ground, and I was asked, where has this watch come from? I could hardly use the same argument because of the intricacy of the design of the watch and the various materials coming together and the fine tuning and the steel and the brass and the glass face, everything coming together to produce something which is fulfilling a purpose. I could hardly say it has always been here. Now, despite all the arguments of many scientists down the rolling years since then, people such as Darwin, and interestingly, Darwin and Paley's pictures hang together in the Tate Gallery, despite Darwin and despite Dawkins and despite Hitchens and many others, no argument has been found to surpass the argument of Paley, the argument from design. And I defy anybody today, doesn't matter what your background is, scientist or not, looking at the universe and its wonders and its intricacies, and looking at our solar system and its movements, and looking at planet Earth, and looking at animals, and looking at you and me, and looking at an ant and a beetle and a spider, looking at a flower, looking at a daisy, looking at a buttercup, looking at a single cell, and the design in a single cell is astonishing. I defy anybody to come up with a cogent argument that there's not a designer behind all this. And the designer is the first cause, and that designer is God. God has left the evidence. Who would live in a universe like this? The clues are there. The argument from design is always powerful unless you're so blind that you cannot see.